The Big Bearded Baker. Welcome to the Big Bearded Baker. Today, we're making white bread. Simple. First, we're going to take some yeast, small amount of sugar, and about 2 cups of warm water, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. From here, we'll mix these 3 ingredients together. It'll become somewhat of a slurry. Now this slurry is going to be our starter. The sugar and yeast are going to feed, or the yeast, I should say, will be feeding off the sugar for about 5 minutes. Afterwards, now, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. From here, the rest of our sugar, salt, and our oil. Place the dough hook into your mixer, if you have a mixer with a dough hook. If not, a good wooden spoon and some good forearm strength is all you'll need to get it mixed up. But from here on out, we'll be adding our flour, roughly a cup at a time. Each time that we add flour, the dough is going to start to come together. The more flour we add, the thicker the dough. As the dough thickens and comes together, you'll see it'll start becoming tacky instead of runny. As we see it come together and become tacky, we know that the dough will be almost ready to pull out. There it is. So from here, we're going to pull our dough out and knead. Now the dough is going to be quite tacky. This is why we're going to knead the dough. As we knead the dough, it becomes less tacky and more pliable and more like Play-Doh. Once we get it to that good consistency of Play-Doh, we'll roll it into a ball, shape it up, and put it into a well-oiled bowl. There we are. Here's our bowl. Oil. Little on top of the dough. Rub it over. We're oiling our dough and bowl to make sure that nothing sticks during proofing. Shape it up under itself. This will help the bowl set. And then cover. You usually want to use a slightly dampened towel. Now, we'll let this proof for roughly an hour. See you then. Oh, that hour went by fast. What's up, guys? Boom. As you can see, our dough has doubled in size. Now what we're going to need to do is pull the dough back out onto the sheet and punch it down. All right, let's grab some flour. As you can see, I'm a little new to this voiceover, so I'm not exactly on key, but will get better as time goes on. All right, let's pull out the dough, punch it down. This is getting all that CO2 that the yeast created out of the dough, so this way it doesn't blow up when you do go to bake it. Knead it a few times just over on itself. We're just getting everything reincorporated. Get it back into a ball. And now, what we're going to do is split the dough in half, and then we're going to put it into our 2 baking dishes. In this case, we've got some little bread baking dishes here. Get them oiled up as well. Not so sure I'll be doing a voiceover on the next video. My camera actually was picking up voice recording fairly decently. But again, this is new to us. So here we go. We're going to split this down the middle. Excuse me. Got to get a knife. There we go. Once we have our dough split in 2, because this recipe does make 2 loaves, we'll get them reshaped and put into our loaf pans. Video is not the greatest here either. I found out that my camera actually does do up to 4K, and we did not shoot in that. My apologies. So make sure everything's well oiled again. This will help us get the bread out of the pan after it's done baking. And let's get our next dough ball ready and shaped. Again, a little bit of oil. All right. We are ready for our last proofing. Let our bread rise once more. Again. Damp cloth. Just like so. This time, we'll be letting these proof for roughly 30 minutes. And then baking time. All right. See you when it's ready. All right. 30 minutes is up again. We've risen about 1.5 times its normal size. Once we get these guys into the oven, they'll double in size again, roughly. We'll be baking these at 350, so it'll take roughly 30 to 40 minutes. Let's get this guy in. Set the timer. And now we wait. Ah, I've been smelling this bread for about the last 10 minutes, guys. Oh, here we go. Ooh, careful. Stuff coming out of the oven gets a little hot. There we go. Two beautiful white bread loaves. Now, we just got to get them out. Put them on a wire rack for them to cool. This way, you don't want the bottoms soggy or anything, and wire racks are great for doing that, keeping them from getting soggy. So just take you a nice butter knife or a flat spatula and run it around the edges, just to make sure it didn't stick too bad. And then we'll plop these guys out. Now, unfortunately, this first one, I didn't know the bottom as well as I should have. Got a little stuck, but that's okay. It still tastes the same. Again, be careful. These loaf pans are going to be hot. See, normally this would come out a little bit easier, but it broke. Like I said, didn't quite stick to the bottom, or excuse me, didn't quite come out of the bottom because it stuck to the bottom, but that's okay. We got what we needed out. Let's get the legs up on this guy. There we go. Get our second loaf out. Ready to go. You can see this one's going to come out real easy. Just like that. And for a beautiful, beautiful crust, I'm going to add just a little bit of butter to the top. Let's get this pan out of the way first. Here we go. It's the butter. We're not going to go Paula Deen style on this butter, but we're going to get a little bit on the top. Add the butter. Both pieces. Both loaves. And as soon as that's buttered up and nice, we're going to let both of these guys sit for about 30 minutes to an hour to cool. And that will allow us to be able to package the bread if we need to, or put it into some bags. That way we can store it on the shelf or even freeze it for later use. But there you have it. 2 loaves, white bread, delicious. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it.